So today we're trying something new. We were camping out in Oshkosh last summer, and it's the first time we've really ever dry camped in our motorhome. So we've never really had to rely on the batteries by themselves, so we were never too concerned. We basically just used whatever they had in there. And of course, motorhomes usually come with AGM batteries. But what we found is when we were camping out there, the batteries would discharge below 50% every night, and which of course is not good for the batteries. And we had to really conserve power. I mean, we basically had lights off by 10 o'clock by the time the generator stopped running, because we had quiet hours there from 10 to 5 or whatever. And we turned everything off, you know, except for the refrigerator and basic appliances. That caused the batteries to run down to below half. So we're going to be doing a lot more dry camping here, and because we're going to be going to events that don't have power. So I think what I'm going to do is I am actually going to replace these batteries with lithium. So right now these batteries are 100 amp hour, maintenance free, 6 volt. So we got 6 of them. Basically it gives me a little over 600 amps of battery power, which of course does not really translate to that. It translates to about 200. So maybe 3 if I'm lucky. So I'm going to replace these with lithium, but I have to get them to fit in the tray. So I measured the tray. The tray is 21 by 21, and that'll allow me to fit 280 amp hour lithium batteries in there, and it'll pretty much fill up the tray. So everything else is convertible. So we've got the inverter, which is lithium compatible. You can set that in there. We got the solar, which is lithium compatible, and of course that's a charger too. So all we have to do is set that, and we should be good to go. The alternator is set for lithium, so we'll have no problem. It won't overpower the alternator. So since it's a 2025 coach, they pretty much make them lithium ready now. Past years, you probably have to get a regulator for the alternator, and then the inverter could or could not be lithium powered. I don't remember in our 2021. I'm thinking that it was probably not lithium compatible. So so I ordered in. I actually went, I looked in, and I went to see who Tiffin had for their supplier, and they use Battleborn, which are approximately $2,500 per battery. And I decided that that was way too expensive. So I went on the internet and I found Lithium. We'll see. Basically, I picked the battery because it was the correct size for the tray. So I could fit 2 of them in there, and it pretty much filled up the tray. So, and they were the highest amp rating that I could find. So that's what I did there. So I just got them in. They said they were going to take like a week and a half to get here, and they showed up in 2 days. And I went to their website, and they had them all listed on there. And then I compared them with the price on Amazon, and the price on Amazon was changing pretty much every day. So they were like, I think both of these batteries, they were about, I think they were $475 a piece. They have a battery monitoring system, Bluetooth, and of course they're 12 volt. You can get them in different voltages depending what you're going to do. I actually have lithium in my bass boat, so I changed out the batteries in there, or at least one of the batteries, the trolling motor battery. Or no, not the trolling motor battery. It was the battery that runs the motor and the graphs. So I changed that out to a, it was, I believe, an Iconic battery. It was about $1,000 at the time, but I needed it because I needed the cranking amps for the motor. These batteries, of course, don't have enough cranking amps to start an engine. So these will run pretty much anything small, but where that doesn't require a lot of like full-on power, burst power. So their rating is 200 amps, which should be fine for the RV. I mean, we're not pulling anything spectacular in the RV. So looks like they give you a manual. They give you your posts, which are small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, of course, download the app on these, and then I have a charger coming because I don't have a charger that is big enough to charge these batteries. So I've got I believe it's a 40 amp lithium charger. And these are actually lithium iron phosphate batteries. There's different types of lithium batteries, and this is an iron phosphate, but we won't get into that. If you want to learn more about that, you can Google that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge both of these batteries up, and I'm going to charge them to full. And I'm going to make sure that when I charge them to full, that the voltage is exactly the same on both of them. These batteries have 4 individual cells that are wired in series to get the voltage. So, you know, it's important that they stay in balance, because otherwise, if you continually charge and discharge these cells and they get out of balance, that's when you can run into trouble. So the battery management system is supposed to take care of that. So as long as that's working, then there shouldn't be a problem. And a lot of times you can tell if you charge it up to full, you can look at the voltage. And if one cell in that battery is not being charged up all the way, it will likely charge the other cells over that. Unfortunately, I don't think, I'll have to see when I get the app, but I don't think you can read each individual cell in this. I think it just gives you an overall voltage. I know my other one does that too. But you can monitor the heat, and so, you know, that's the main sign. But as long as these batteries charge up, they're both the same voltage, and I'm going to let them set for a little while and see how they discharge and make sure they discharge kind of at the same rate. It'll be a slow, I mean, they slowly discharge, but as long as one is not dropping, you know, extremely fast, which is a sign of a weak cell, then we should be okay. Then what I'm going to do is put them in the RV and let the solar charge them for a little bit, see how that maintains it. My only concern is that they're going to be charged fully all the time, which is not the greatest situation for these, especially if you're going to store them for a long time. If I store this for 6 months, I want to discharge it to like 50%. But I don't plan on not using the RV. But still, when I've got the RV out there, they're pretty much going to be charged to 100% unless I can set it somewhere in the monitor or in the spider control on the RV. So I'm going to look at that and then see what I can do there. But in the meantime, I just have to kind of wait for my charger to come in. Should be in this afternoon. So strangely enough, the battery charger showed up on time. The Amazon girl dropped it right off. This is the 6 volt, 12 volt, 24 volt smart charger. Lithium, lithium ion, lead acid, you name it. It does it all. I was going to get a dedicated one for the lithium battery, but I figured, you know what? I'm going to have all those 6 volt batteries for the motorhome, and I'm going to need a charger for those. So I figured I might as well get one that does everything. I already have one, but it doesn't do lithium. So here, this one here is supposed to be automatic. Whether it will be or not, I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, well, I guess we're charging. You have to hit the power button. Be nice if they told you that in the manual. 100 degrees. Let's see. 13.6 volts. We're at 15 amps. This is the app here. You collect the battery. Let's see. Tells you it's charging 50%. 9 hours to a full charge. Current, which is actually pretty accurate. It gives you the actual current that it's charging at, the voltage, the capacity, and then let's see, temperature, balance. It tells you their balance. I wish it would tell you the individual voltage. Cells, normal. BMS, normal, battery management system. So it doesn't really give you much detail. It just kind of tells you that it's all good. So you pretty much have to trust it. But, well, I guess we'll let that go here and see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't burn down the house. That would be bad. Well, we made it through the night. Actually, we didn't make it through the night. I didn't leave this on charge all night. I did figure out how to use this battery charger, though. So the instruction manual, of course, gives you many different languages and basically 2 pages of each one. It doesn't really tell you how to operate the charger. It kind of just says that it's automatic. But this red button, of course, when you cycle this red button, what happens is the battery charger cycles through all the different modes. It has repair mode, low amperage, medium amperage, and high amperage. So basically it detects the type of battery, well, hopefully, and then you can set the charge mode. So the repair mode is for regular lead acid or AGM batteries to apparently repair them or restore them to their original condition. I don't know how good that works, but I would imagine it doesn't. But so far, I've had this one on charge for about 7 hours maybe. I turned it off overnight because I was a little uncomfortable leaving a brand new battery with a brand new charger charging overnight while I was sleeping right above here. So I decided to cut it off. It charged for about 2 hours this morning. The app, of course, shows the state of charge. And it was charging, it was at 99% for 2 hours this morning. So I imagine what was happening is that the charger was charging it and then the individual cells in the battery were balancing themselves to get them all equal voltage. So I would imagine that's what was happening for 2 hours. So, but this one is fully charged. I've had this one on charge for about an hour now, and it says I've got 3.5 hours remaining, which probably means 5.5 hours. So the reason I got this charger, this is a 40 amp charger. Now, the company that makes these batteries, Lithium, apparently, well, we'll find out. We'll find out if it's not lie time, but it's Lithium. They make an 80 amp charger, and I was going to buy that. It was nearly $300, and I just decided that I didn't need to charge it at 80 amps if I'm just doing an initial charge. If I were going to put that maybe in the RV and use that as the full-time charger, then I'd definitely go with that one. But 40 amps should be fine. The only thing is the battery, the recommended charging amp is 56 or less. So they don't even recommend charging them at 80 amps. And usually what happens with lithium batteries is if you charge them at a higher amperage rating, it'll degrade the battery faster. So charging them at a lower rate, although it takes a long time, it kind of allows the cells to balance individually, and it does save the battery a little bit. So you're probably wondering, why am I listening to this guy? He doesn't know what he's doing. I probably don't, but a little background on myself. I've been building, using, selling, and dealing with lithium batteries since the early 2000s. So I have quite a bit of knowledge on lithium themselves. The lithium iron phosphate, I don't have a lot of experience with those, but basically it's kind of the same idea. They're not quite as dangerous as a lithium ion, lithium polymer, that type of cell, but the idea is the same. You know, the voltages are a little different, but they all kind of have the same characteristics. So that's why I'm tackling this project instead of having somebody who's an expert in the area do it. I figured, you know what, it's really not that difficult. You just have to, you know, use a little safety and, you know, kind of understand the basics of it. So I'm not going to get into detail of a lot of this stuff because it's boring and people really don't need to know the details unless they want to learn them. Then they're available all over the internet. But you know, I just kind of look at these batteries and I say, ever since I've started in lithium batteries, there's always been companies that have come out and have said they have the latest and greatest and best cells and they're the safest and this and that and this and that. And it's never held up. In my experience, that's never been true. The cells are basically all made in China. And so the manufacturing process does vary. And you kind of get what you get. I mean, being made in China, you're going to get some variations in quality. So as long as you know how to recognize it, as long as you know how to recognize that you maybe have a bad cell or that, you know, the battery management system wasn't working the way it should, then you're okay. Now, the thing with the RV batteries is that since these have a management system in them that's supposed to prevent overcharging, over-discharging, thermal runaway, things like that, and the RV has, and the Spider system has a management system also. So basically, you've got two management systems, and in order for one of these batteries to fail, you'd have to have, number one, the cell fail, and both battery management systems failing basically at the same time. So the odds of that are pretty slim. I've got lithium batteries in both my motorcycles and my bass boat, and I've been running those for about a year now, and no problem at all. So those of you wondering, you know, why a lithium battery? Well, number one, you don't have to do any maintenance. You don't have to basically worry about them. You can monitor them from your phone app. They last for at least 10 years, unless, like I say, unless you have a bad cell or something like that. Most of these batteries have a 5-year warranty on them. But in my experience, lithium batteries will last you 10, 15 years, sometimes even longer, depends how you treat them, and the capacity. So basically, to put it in simple terms, a lead acid battery, an AGM battery, is going to degrade in voltage as you use it. So the voltage is going to go on a sliding scale, where the lithium batteries will hold their voltage. Depending how many amps you pull from them, they'll go down to a resting voltage, and then they'll remain the same all the way through the discharge until the very end. So basically, something that you're going to need like a high amp, like say a trolling motor for a boat, you're going to get the same power through the whole discharge of the battery. Where if you were going to use an AGM, you would start to see that power degrade as you use the trolling motor throughout the day. So RVs, yeah, you know, there's really no high discharge points. It's basically, you know, I guess if you're going to use a lot of lights, or if you're going to turn fans on and you've got everything running all at one time, you know, you're going to pull a lot more amps out of that battery. But, you know, the management system is in such a way that you probably would not see that. However, you will get at least twice the runtime out of this that you will out of an AGM, simply for that reason. Because in an AGM, it's going to cut that voltage at a certain point and not let you use the battery anymore, where this battery will be able to discharge to the full cycle before it cuts off. So basically, runtime and longevity, you don't have to worry about any type of memory. You can discharge these for, you know, for 5 minutes and charge them all the way back up, and it's not going to retain any memory at all. And I know AGMs are supposed to be that way, but you know how they go. So that's basically the reason why I can put $1,000 into these batteries and be assured that they're going to last me for at least 10 years. Not to mention they're lighter. They're at least half the weight. So, and it's a simpler connection. Basically, I connect these together. I have one cable connecting them versus 6 or 8 or 12 6-volt batteries, where I'm paralleling them, series them, have all kinds of different connections in there. So it's a lot simpler to do this. So, so that's why I try and use, like for motorcycles, the lithium is great because you can put them in there. You don't have to charge them. They'll basically just hold their charge. And the boat is the same way. That boat will hold its charge for months on end, and I never have to worry about it. And like my bass boat, when I changed the battery from AGM to lithium, I got probably 3 to 4 times the runtime out of that battery. So, so it was a really good deal for that. The RV, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much off-grid camping we do, and if we do a lot, well, it's gonna pay off just in runtime. So, but as long as everything works with the charger and everything works with the batteries, we'll be good to go. Okay. Well, we have the charge all done. So 8 hours, which at 40 amps, it shouldn't have taken 8 hours. So I have a feeling that this charger is probably putting out 25. That's what I think. But it worked. I mean, it charged them. It just took a long time. Once again, it sat there for 2 hours, and I think it balanced out. Either that or, you know, it's balancing, and that's what's taking all the time. But the nominal voltage, or the voltage in this one is 13.5. That's after it sat all day. And this one is 13.4. Now, the interesting thing is when I check it with my voltmeter, these come out to 12.83 and 12.93. So there's a tenth of a volt difference between the two, probably because this one's sat. So I'm thinking what it's doing is the battery management system is probably stabilizing the output to 12.8 volts, since it says that's the nominal voltage. So the internal voltage may indeed be 13.5, but it's only allowing 12.8 to go to the terminals. So I'm going to assume that's what they have going on there. So anyway, it'll work either way. So I'm going to let these sit, because it's too late in the day anyway. In the meantime, what I got is I made another Amazon purchase here. Alright. Looks like this was taped up and returned at some point. I've never seen that before. So I got a couple bus bars for the connections in the coach. Now, they're supposed to be waterproof, but doesn't matter. These are 300 amp, which should be plenty good. I really only need 200, but because my inverter is only a 2,000 watts, so I won't exceed that, or I shouldn't exceed that, not on a continuous current basis. So I'm going to hook both of these batteries, the negative and the negative on each one, to this bar, and then run that to the negative line on the inverter. And same with the positive. The positives are going to this bar. And then those are going to run from the main line to the inverter. How I'm going to mount them, I don't know yet, but we'll see. I'll see if I can find something in there to mount them to. So that should work. Now I just have to wait until tomorrow. But these are actually pretty heavy. They had good reviews. I think they were $32 a piece, or for the pair. So reasonable. So we'll see if this one just got done charging. So we'll see if that levels out a little bit here overnight. And then they say you're supposed to hook them up black to black, red to red, and let them self-balance. But they're going to be hooked up in the RV like that, so I'm not too worried about it. They'll even themselves out over time. If I had 4 batteries or 6 batteries, and I was connecting them in parallel and in series, then I'd probably want to connect them all up and get them all balanced perfectly. But for 2, not a big deal. So tomorrow. Okay, today is the day we're going to change out the batteries. So first of all, I guess we're going to go in to the coach here. Ooh, it's warm in here today. About 78 out there today. Okay, so first of all what we'll do is we'll turn the solar off. And we'll turn the charger off. And that should be fine. Should be all we have to do in here. We just don't want to get zapped by anything. I see the Asian beetles are still making their home in there. Good deal. Okay. So now what we have to do is go in here and we'll turn off all these switches here. Yeah, looks like the solar's still activated, so we'll turn the master off and we'll turn that master off. To disconnect the solar, we just trip these breakers here, and that should disconnect it from the batteries. So we'll carefully cut these zip ties off of here, and I guess see where this leads us carefully without cutting the wires. We definitely do not want to cut the wires. Okay. So this looks like it goes to, cut this one off too. This is your power maintainer. Goes to the positive and the negative. At some point. Okay, easy enough. And then I guess we'll connect or disconnect these. Let's see what I've got here. See if I got some nice wrenches here. A little big. Let's see. I got my bin of tools, and this one is about right. They are torqued good, so you don't have to worry about those coming loose. Unlike, you just have to worry about the nuts flying off. So they have holes in here, as you can tell. I would assume that's so that any vapors or gases can be vented out to the outside. The problem, of course, with that is that it makes this compartment completely filthy. So, and there's really, other than cleaning this out, there's really no point in trying to clean it, because the minute you drive 5 miles down the road, it'll be, I knew I'd trip over that, it'll be just as dirty. Kind of like the DEF fluid area. I have a feeling that I'm probably going to have to put a little padding down in here, in between the batteries, to keep them from sliding. Let's see how this fits here. Yeah, it's probably what I'm going to have to do. Okay. Well, I think I can do that. Not too much of a problem. It looks like one ledge is going to grab these, but that should be enough anyway. Maybe two. I can put them over to the one side, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I'll get these positioned in here. Looks like we've got everything situated in there. What I did is I put some neoprene pads in here. I had some old neoprene flooring, so I just cut it up and put it in there. They are solid. They shouldn't go anywhere for a while. Okay, so next up, what we're going to do is, I guess we're going to hook our connections back up. The connectors, so they specify the torque on these at 10 foot-pounds, which is not very much. So I don't know, but I'm gonna see if I can tighten them down pretty well. So put these properly on here. And I've got my trusty torque wrench here. There we go. Come on, little buddy, get off there. There we go. So let's see, so we're going to start by hooking up the positive here. That'll go on this terminal. Oh, That's a fail. Okay. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to drill that out a bit. And it looks like we're going to have to drill this one out too. Yep. Ah, great. Well, I knew it couldn't be that easy. All right, I'll go get my drill bits. Okay, so we've got positive, 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 negative, negative, negative. Looks like everything's good. So what I'm going to do now, everything should be set to go. Double check my connections. I've got both negatives going into the negative, both positives going into the positive. And that's your parallel connection there. So that's going to change your two 280 amp batteries into a 560 amp battery, 12 volt. So that's that. So we'll put our solar back on here. Okay. And I'm just going to bring up my app just to see if anything's going on. No, not much. Okay, so now we can turn the coach on. So we'll do the power on and the master switch. And yeah, we have no current going in there, but not to worry. We'll have some. Okay, so we've got that. Now we'll go inside through the deluge of Asian beetles. Now what this will have to do is this will have to reboot. So you got to agree. Okay, updates. Now we're gonna do a system update, slide, whatever. Okay, that's fine. Update. We'll do that later. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is our chassis battery is a little low because it hasn't been started for a while, but that is what it is. So, all right. So everything seems to be working good in here. No problem at all. So what we'll do now is we will start up the chassis. So I got to charge those batteries anyway. And it's no big deal. You can always use your house batteries if your chassis battery's dead. So we're good to go there. All right. So that's it there. It charges up pretty quick once you get this thing going. And I just kind of want to run it here a little bit. I want to see the charge rate going into these batteries from the alternator. They're full, so you probably won't. So it's telling you there's a -5 current right now. So -4.7. It's kind of going all over the place, but we'll see here. And then I also got to check the generator too. She's hot in here. Okay. Let's see what this management system is doing here now. Okay, so we've got 42 amps going to the house batteries right now. 33 from the solar, it looks like. 42 from there, and then 5 going out to the house. So, since I don't have a plug right now to plug it into, I'm really not sure. I just want to make sure that everything, when I'm driving down the road, that nothing is going to overheat and cause a huge problem. Because that would be a problem. We don't want to go up in flames driving down the road. So everything seems fine there. Got that working good. Everything else looks good. The inverter should be on and fully operational, although it's not being used. Yep, it is definitely on. Solar looks like it's going, so we're good to go there. Here's your warranty information. Okay, well, we'll let that run for a little while and see what we got going on. Okay, looks like we got full charge from the engine. The battery management on the batteries cut off the charge, or the battery management from the coach cut off the charge. Yep, one of the two did. So we don't know which one did yet. But so that worked good. So we're good to go. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to shut down this engine, and then we're going to let it run overnight here with probably the refrigerator. And then I'll just plug in one. I won't plug in that other one. It's early morning. Oh, the RV is still there. It didn't burn up. So that's good. That's a positive thing. Let's see here. Get my battery app up here. Let's see what we're looking at. As we get closer, I couldn't get it from the house. Bluetooth apparently didn't go that far. Otherwise I was going to monitor it. Okay. So this battery is 21%. And hold on, let's see here. This battery is 70%. So, okay, so what happens is that the one battery discharges before the other one does. So once that gets down to a certain voltage, probably 12.8 or something, then the other battery takes over, and that starts discharging. So so you may not have an even discharge on both batteries, but the battery monitor will take care of that when it charges up, apparently. So we've been going, it's 7 a.m. right now. This has been going 12, 14 hours without any solar. Refrigerator was on. I left the lights on until about 10 o'clock last night. So, here, I'll put the lights on here so we can see. And we're still at 13.1 volts. And we have probably another 10 hours left in the batteries. Probably, safely, probably 8 hours. So basically, we've gained, I would say, double, at least double, almost 3 times the run time that we had before. So we got 70, 80, 90, we got about 91% left in one battery, which is enough to run probably 8 hours. So yeah, so that's a good deal. We'll be able to dry camp easily, keep the TVs on, keep fans on, whatever else we need to do for quite a while. So I'm going to show you, there's some settings that I missed yesterday. So I'm going to show you the settings that you have to have. Okay, so first of all, we'll go into the charger. Okay, the charger settings should be battery type lithium, the battery bank size, which is how many amps you have, and the linkage mode is independent. That's fine. Okay, the house battery, lithium, 560 milliamps, same thing. The inverter charger, this is the main charger. Okay, so this is what you want to do with the battery settings down here. So battery amp hours, it doesn't let you change it to exactly, but it changes it close. So we'll put 600 for that. Lithium, and then absorb time. With the AGMs, that was set at a half an hour. So with the lithiums, what they recommend is a half hour per 100 amps of battery time. So we're going to set this at 2.5. What that does is that that actually is the time that the charger, at the end of the charge, it reduces its charge rate down to maybe 3 amps or 5 amps or whatever, and it allows the battery to balance itself out. So with lithiums, they need a little bit of time to balance the cells, so it reduces the charge rate and just keeps a really, really slow charge so those cells can equalize. So that's what that is. So you might have to adjust that a little bit up and down depending on how the batteries balance out. But with 2 batteries, we shouldn't have a problem. I mean, 2.5 hours should be plenty of time. So, and that is pretty much all we have to do. Right now, we've got a little bit of solar coming in, not much, but that's pretty much it. So, haven't plugged it in yet. Probably won't get an opportunity to do that, but we'll run the generator a little bit here, maybe later on today. I'm gonna wait and just see. We have a sunny day ahead of me, so we're gonna see how much the solar will charge, and if they'll charge these back up. I don't think they will, but you never know. So before I fasten these wires back in and everything, we'll just make sure everything's good to go. But so far, I think it will definitely do the job, especially for what we're doing. Are you following me?
I'm following you. I gotta see what you've been doing out here the last 2 days. Gotta check your workmanship.
Locked up in a prison cell. Okay, so we don't know. Let's see what these batteries are going to do here. Okay, put the let's see if they were at 70 and 21.
Okay.
Now here's Bluetooth on this one. Let's see where this one's up to. This has had, it is what, 3 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
So it's had 8 hours of sun. We're at 69% right now.
Yep.
So the same, that hasn't touched it. Oh no, it has. Okay. So this one's charging.
Alright.
But it's only getting 8 amps from the solar. Okay. So, and this one's at, okay. So it's been charging this battery, the first battery that was down to 20%.
Uh-huh.
Come on, let me get to the other one. So it charged 50% here.
Okay.
So far from 3 o'clock. So, I think what we'll do, run down and grab the key.
Okay.
We'll start the generator. Oh, we don't need the key, because we don't need the key to run the generator.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're going to start the generator up here.
Here, I can go in. I think I can do it.
You think you can do it?
I think so.
You don't know how to do it. Oh, look at the bugs.
Oh my gosh. They're back.
Okay, it's warm in here. Okay, so we'll do the generator. All right, now we'll go back to the power panel and see what it says. Generator.
Yep.
We got 21 amps from the solar, and we've got, let's see here. Let's see what this one says now. Oop, I heard the transfer switch go. So let's see here. Most batteries. Okay, now we've got current. 17 hours to full charge. So solar itself on this unit is definitely not going to charge those batteries.
Okay.
Okay, now we got 40 amps. Because we got 26 amps from the inverter. We got 21 amps from the solar. So 40 amps. And now we're going to charge in 5 hours.
Got it. Okay. So you'd have to run your generator to get them up to full charge.
Yep, so your generator is going to have to run for probably 6 hours. We'll see when it ramps up here. So that's that battery. This battery is same thing. So it's putting charge in both the batteries now.
Okay.
Because it has enough amps.
Got it. When the solar just didn't.
So the first battery it's charging at 15 amps. Second battery it's charging at 25 amps. Because that one was a little bit lower.
Okay, that's your 48 amps.
Yeah, so we got 42 amps here. So that's basically interesting to know. We're not going to be able to charge it on the solar, but usually when we're out dry camping, we've got the generator running anyway
To run the
throughout
air
the day to run the
conditioner
air,
and stuff,
because
yeah.
it's hot in here.
It is warm.
It's 95 in here probably.
Yep.
So, but all in all, I think it'll work out really good.
It should.
I don't think we'll have a problem. So we'll see. We'll let this run for a while. Actually, we should close that door
Okay.
to keep the Asian beetles out of it. And we'll let this run for a while. But hopefully that'll do. Everything will work out good.
Yep. It
we'll-
didn't burn down when we were gone, so that's the big thing.
We'll make an update if everything ends up in flames. But otherwise, I'm going to link all this stuff down in the comments. I'll link the batteries and the charger, and the bus bars and everything else. So if you want to give it a try, go ahead. Or if I'm doing it wrong, if this thing's going to burn up and somebody knows more than I do, let me know in the comments, because I definitely don't want to lose the RV at this point,
No.
because new ones are hard to get.
Yes, they are.